Okay, so the next problem we're going to look at is from a user who says they're not seeing the same menu items in their menu as one of their colleagues sees in their menu. So I'll just log in here as one of those users. So I've logged in here as Robert, and Robert has 3 work centers in his index page. So he has this procurement one where he's got access to purchase order processing in SRM, but he reckons he should have more in here. So he's given me the name of his colleague, so I'm going to log in as his colleague and just see what they can see. Okay, so Alice has a few more things on her index page. She's got this procurement area. She's got extra entries. She has purchasing ERP. She also has a finance section with some accounts receivable, transactions, and a tools area. I'll just go back to this procurement area and run one of these transactions. Okay, so we run that transaction, we've hit an authorization issue which we can deal with in a minute, but for the purpose of this demonstration, I want to show you how you can tell which role is giving Alice this transaction in her menu. So if you hold down the control key and you go to the menu at the top here, you'll see with the control key held down you have some extra options. One of those options is this special switches, and you can say show technical info on hover. So that's a quick way we do that. Now when we hover on one of the tabs, you'll see down the bottom here we get some extra information, and part of that is actually the role name. You'll see it's that zplout NWBC sorg_2 role. Another way of seeing the same thing is if you hold down the control key again and you go to help, extended supportability, and you say server information, you'll get this screen with all sorts of information about the server. If you scroll down to the bottom, past the system info and the user info, you'll start to see the roles that the user has been assigned. In this case, the user has 3 roles assigned. We'd actually like to find that ERP folder. So if I do a quick search for ERP, it's found it for me here, purchasing ERP. That's the folder. And you can actually see here that it's part of this zplout NWBC sorg_2, the same as we saw when we hovered over the tab before. And it's actually telling us that it's node 122. So I'll switch over now to a technical view here. I'm going to go into the security area. I'm going to go to role maintenance, transaction PFCG. And I'm going to have a quick look at that role. So we saw in the trace, well, at least the server information, that it was coming from this role. I'm going to have a look at the menu, and sure enough, it has these extra items that weren't in Robert's index page. And if it was a much bigger menu, we might want to find it just by going to the node, in which case we can just type the node ID in, and it highlights that node ID for us so we can see. So the reason that Robert and Alice don't have the same things in their menu is because if we check on the user, you'll see that Alice has the role, but Robert doesn't. So whether or not Robert should have the role is probably not my call, but we've made some investigations into why, and the key takeaway really is that you need to check the roles that the user has assigned to them in the background, and have a look at the menu tab to see what menu items are going to appear for those users. And you can also look from the end user's view and get them to hold down the control key and look at the server information, or go to that extra switch so that they can hover and see that information at the bottom of the screen.